Well, good morning, E-Town. It is Friday, January the 22nd, the same week that our nation has seen the inauguration of the 46th President of the United States. And we are just so enthused to realize how we have once again witnessed the smooth transition of power in this great democracy of ours. I'm Eric Witherspoon. I'm the superintendent of Evanston Township High School. I'm joined by the assistant superintendent and principal of ETHS, Dr. Marcus Campbell. And Marcus, I'll just toss it to you with just a couple of words.
Well, yeah.
Wait a minute, let me say it. Vice President Kamala Harris.
Just inspiring, right? Just completely inspiring and familiar in a lot of ways. You know, I was raised by a lot of strong black women, so Kamala is just another to add to that tapestry of support and the beauty of black excellence. So it was a very, very powerful moment to see her take the oath of office.
Yeah, it was, and you know, she is clearly an inspiration to every girl, every young woman in this country and beyond. Mm-hmm. But clearly she is an inspiration to all of us. Mm-hmm. And it was just so exciting to see.
Yes.
Kudos to the Biden administration, because again, we want to celebrate our democracy with any inauguration, regardless of who we supported, who we voted for. It is a testament to our democracy, and just kudos to them. I thought that earlier this week that the celebration was truly just that.
Yeah, a
celebration.
And we're looking forward to this administration giving us some help, right?
We are. They've said many things about support for education, for public education, that truly resonate with us, and so very hopeful that they will be able to follow through on the kind of things that they have advocated.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. So to everybody, I just want to point out that the indicators regarding COVID in our area are moving the right direction at the moment. They're moving the right direction in the city of Evanston. They're moving the right direction in Region 10, which is the COVID region that the Pritzker administration has identified that we're in. We are responding to that in several positive ways. Earlier this week, the governor's office announced that he was moving this region, not all regions, but this region into Tier 2 mitigation. What that does is loosens up some of the requirements, including those around high school athletics. So many of you will recall that in the fall, we were able to do quite a bit more regarding high school athletics. We still weren't having the same kind of competitions, and clearly some sports are considered higher risk than other sports, but we were able to offer quite a plethora of opportunities for our students in the fall. We are going to be able to offer those again for our student athletes beginning shortly. We've already been getting the word out to them. That includes not only winter sports, but athletes who are involved in sports at the high school level in a number of different ways. So we're excited that we're going to be able to start giving more in-person opportunities for our student athletes here even in the month of January, and we hope that the region can stay in a level of mitigation that allows us to continue to offer those opportunities. In addition, we're also going to be able to offer more opportunities for all students in many of our activities here at ETHS, other extracurricular and co-curricular activities. And we are very busily working with our staff, with sponsors and coaches and adults in the building to figure out what we can be offering that we can offer in both a safe as well as a smaller group setting. But I will tell you that we will be moving into those regularly, steadily, and each time we're able to figure out some area of in-person participation that we can offer to our students will get the word out. And just be on the lookout. And students, of course, you will be getting contact directly from us, letting you know what opportunities are available. I also want to point out that District 65 did announce just this week that they are striving for a hybrid model, an in-person model, that would start February the 16th. Again, they are in the same situation as all of us are in. It is dependent on so many variables. But they are acknowledging, as we are, that the metrics, that the data is moving the right direction. And so given what they know today, they anticipate that they will be able to move to some in-person, some hybrid opportunities for their students. I do want to point out to everybody two important things. One is they serve a far younger age group than we do. And you can Google this, but there's a lot of research out there now indicating that children aged 12 and under are less at risk, or certainly at risk in different ways, than adolescents and teenagers over the age of 12. And so we're going to monitor closely what they're able to do and how that impacts our community. And we're also going to be able to follow the research and the science about the adolescents, the older children. And the second thing I wanted to point out is that an elementary school is structured in a very different way from a high school. In an elementary school, they tend to have, well, they do have smaller school-wide enrollments, but they also are so often self-contained in individual classrooms where it's much easier to create pods and to really avoid movement around the building all day, or much movement around the building, compared to a large comprehensive high school that has nearly 4,000 students and over 600 employees. So we understand the differences, but we see it as a good sign. We hope that they are able to proceed with this. We hope that the metrics stay heading the right direction, and we hope that we will be able to see what's happening there and to respond appropriately at the high school level. Marcus.
Thank you, Eric. In the meantime, there's plenty of work to be done as ETHS prepares for our next steps. We are all eager to bring our students back to ETHS at some point this semester. So we've been encouraged by the progress being made to get priority groups vaccinated. However, supplies locally are very low. It was recently reported that less than 1% of all Illinois residents are vaccinated at this time, and we continue to stay in close contact with our city and health officials, and we are hopeful that all educators in Evanston will have an opportunity to be vaccinated in the near future. Hopefully near future means next couple of weeks. Even with the metrics finally moving in the right direction and more vaccinations on the horizon, the realities of COVID remain ever present. The death toll in the United States passed 400,000 this week. Illinois alone has seen nearly 20,000 deaths from COVID-19. And Dr. Witherspoon and I were just talking about Inauguration Day, and that day alone we saw a record number of deaths reported since the pandemic began. So this is still very serious stuff. Students, parents, and guardians and staff, your partnership in keeping our community safe will be critical during any stage of transition back to ETHS. We know this is possible when everyone does their part. So we will continue to mask and social distance, mask up as they say, and social distance. We'll continue to our cleaning and our PPE protocols, and we will do whatever it takes to keep each other safe. Eric?
Yeah, thank you. And we are so reminded of the resilience of so many people who are affiliated with ETHS and what they have been doing and contributing. But this week we were reminded of the resilience of one of our students and how it so represents so many of our students. We received an email message from one of our juniors. I won't divulge the name, but this student did in fact put this message addressed to the teachers, the staff, the school board, and the community. So I'd just like to share a few things from this, because so often what we find is our students have voice and they can teach us so much. Here are just 3 quotes from the message that the students sent. I express my deepest admiration for the way ETHS faculty have adapted so quickly and continue to humbly seek methods of improvement from students, families, and teachers. I hope I speak for my fellow ETHS classmates when I thank the wonderful Evanston School administrators, board members, staff, and teachers for making the courageous decisions to keep the school closed to protect us and defend our families from this coronavirus. And it is a deep wish of mine that the ETHS faculty will feel appreciated and supported by the students during this time and all times, and that ETHS students will realize how lucky we are, not just during this pandemic, but all the time, for the abundantly creative, dedicated, and extremely supportive school we are fortunate enough to attend. Those words are written and expressed by a junior in this high school. Dr. Campbell and I can attest that we do get messages from students, not every day, but periodically expressing similar sentiments, similar appreciation. And I just wanted to share this and pass it on, because we are so fortunate to have so many people who care and students who recognize that. My message to students would be this: if you haven't yet this year had a chance to thank one of your teachers, maybe one of your club or activity sponsors, maybe one of your coaches, if you maybe a staff member that has been contacting you and your family to make sure that things are going okay for you, I just encourage you, just maybe give one of those people a thank you. Just show your appreciation if you can, because we're all human beings and we all need to recognize that each and every one of us really does value and appreciate when somebody gives us that recognition. So to the student who wrote that, and I've been in contact with that student, but I want to say it publicly, thank you for speaking for many, many of your classmates. Marcus.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric. I was very much impacted by that student's words as well. And this is a sentiment that surfaced earlier this week for me as well. And it's very refreshing. And at the same time, we have seen divisive and hateful things in our own community. It was very timely that our board president and our board released a statement in support of the District 65 board and administration after incidents of threats and racist acts against some of them. The full statement from the District 202 board is on our website for those who would like to read it. It speaks to why we must remain vigilant in our work around racial equity, even when we are tired, when we face loss, even when it's not popular. We just observed Dr. King's legacy of justice this week for his birthday, and now is more than ever, it's important to reflect on his legacy of love and grace and perseverance for justice, regardless of where we are. And we just wanted to lift that up. It's been an emotional week, but we want our students to hear a message of healing and hope as we face the next hurdles ahead. So I like to read an excerpt from the poem by Amanda Gorman the nation's first ever youth poet laureate, which she read at Joe Biden's inauguration this week. It says, "For while we have eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption we feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was. We will move to what shall be." Very, very good words. Eric?
I know most of us in this nation were able to hear Amanda speak those words and to be reminded that she is 22 years old and spoke not only with such confidence, but with such wisdom, an inspiration to us all, to say the least. And that reminds us finally about how young people are an inspiration for all of us. And let's just remember, even in this time of COVID, even in this time in which our nation has been facing and will be facing so many challenges, let's keep positive. Let's remember that ETHS is continuing on. We have a Wild Kid Academy coming up this coming Saturday, January 23rd, and students really encourage you to get involved and to take advantage of our Wild Kid Academy. We have fan events coming up, and we keep putting out all of the reminders of this on a regular basis. Report cards are out. I hope that's positive for most of us and for most of our students, but I would just remind you, they came out earlier this week, and if you've not yet checked out your report card, you can check that out on the Home Access Center. And of course, we will continue having all of the celebrations, such as earlier this week, we had course selection night for our incoming freshmen. We continue to have programs and all sorts of opportunities for our students, such as our Principal Student of the Month celebrations, and that's just one of many examples. And there's just plenty going on at ETHS, and in that positive spirit, we can all just share together and to remember that indeed, it's a great day to be a Wild Kid. We'll be back with eTown Live on first and third Fridays of the coming month, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Go Kits!